Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Administrator Huerta, you outlined in your testimony, your oral testimony written, some of the advances we've made in next-gen implementation. So I have two questions on that. Despite that outline, there's still concerns, not just from the industry, from airlines, but from other folks that nothing's being done, we're still way behind, all sorts of criticisms along those lines. Can you briefly address that?
The key developments that we've been able to make with NextGen have really brought the system a long way in realizing those benefits. I understand the skepticism that the industry and others in the system have had over many years, but I would encourage everyone to look at the very significant challenge we've made in the last 5 years. As we have built out the foundational technologies and as we have been very, very focused on delivery of benefits. Under the direction and with the support of this committee, we have engaged actively with industry. And the key part of doing that was to ensure that what we were focused on was delivering the priorities that industry want. As you know, we reached agreement with industry on four key areas of priority that they want us to focus on in the near term for the delivery of benefit. That was done through a collaborative process. We reached agreement on those priorities, and we are tracking to the milestones that were set forth in those priorities. They include a significant increase and focus on performance-based navigation, which we're doing through our Metroplex program. They want us to focus on surface operations, which we're very, very committed to. A significant focus on datacom, where we are focusing on deploying. Right now, the program is running in trials in 2 airports, and we will be deploying in 2 more in the months ahead. So by working in collaboration with industry, we have identified their priorities. We're very focused on continuing to deliver in those areas. Okay.
I know, and the Chairman and I sort of feel like ex officio members of the NAC at times when it comes to NextGen. So I know there's on UAS there's a significant backlog of Section 333 exemption requests, and what can we do to help make this process more streamlined? I know we've talked about approaching it from a programmatic approach rather than a one-off exemption approach without compromising safety. Can you provide an opinion of this programmatic approach that some of us have talked about? Absolutely. Under Section 333 of the reauthorization of 2012, Congress granted us the authority to grant exemptions to integrate particular users of unmanned aircraft into the national airspace system. And that has proven to be a very popular tool. We have a very large number of applications that have been received from industry. About 450 or so? Yeah. The challenge that we have is that exemptions are granted to an individual or a company for a specific purpose. The agency has very limited ability to grant blanket exemptions to whole classes of users. And so what that means is that we have to evaluate each application on its own individual merits and the criteria around its own the specifics of what they're talking about. Would the agency argue that that's what the language of 333 says it has to do? It has to do with the nature of an exemption, which is what 333 authorized was the ability to grant an exemption. An exemption is to an individual for a specific purpose. And so it's the relationship of the two things. Anything that we can do that would enable us to look at classes of operators that have substantially identical facts or very similar characteristics, I think could be quite helpful. Nonetheless, in the near term, we are looking at what we can do to continue to streamline the process of granting the exemptions as we are currently doing them. All right. That's fine. I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman Schuster.